So, as you guys can see, the weeks passed. We went through G.I. Joe, and tonight we'll be seeing Scarlet versus Bazooka, Wild Bill versus Snowjob, Modern Junkyard versus Airborne, Snake Eyes versus Sergeant Slaughter, and then on the Cobra side, we'll be checking out Copperhead versus the Iron Grenadier Bat, the Baroness versus Crimson God. I know there's still some people mad she beat Storm Shadow, but you know, the private director doesn't want to sleep on the couch, so there you have it. The His Driver and Gunner versus Scrap Iron, and the Techno Viper versus Cobra Commander. Bullwinkle's going to be a little bit late tonight, but in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and use his initial scores to determine what his votes will be until he shows up. So, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and just say hi to the chat. We've got Seth Billick. Well, he checked in at 3:15. I'm not sure that he's still here. But either way, thanks for checking in, Seth. Doe Studios is in the house. Doe, how are you? Let's see. Sean, how you going? How's it going, Sean? Sean's a good friend of mine personally in the real world. He's a friend of my human avatar.
Hey, Sean.
And that looks like it's about it for now. Oh, Frank Dumanu is here. Frank, how are you, my friend? So we're gonna go down the list here and have everyone introduce themselves. Go ahead, Curtis.
Hi, my name's Lesarge or Curtis Schultz or Kurt Kenobi or any of those, and you can find me on YouTube. And I have a nostalgia for G.I. Joe and Transformers and Star Wars. And I can't wait till tomorrow. That's it.
All right. Digital, how about you?
I am the Digital Caveman, and for those of you in the chat, you probably already know me, but for anybody who's viewing, you can find me at youtube.com/@digitalcaveman with 2 N's. Make sure you put that second N on there, because if you just put one, you're going to end up somewhere you don't want to be. And I'm also Digital Caveman on Instagram, and I do action figure reviews along with some miscellaneous stuff here and there that aren't quite action figures. And, you know, I have a nostalgia for most things 80s. And so I guess that's why I'm here.
Very nice. And if you are looking for the one with 1 N, then maybe you don't want to be here. Welcome, Virgo Cool and Roughshod.
Graybeard Virgo.
Casual, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I am the Casual Toy Collector. I'm a collector of anything that looks cool in my eyes. I also do a show Wednesday on YouTube. You can look me up, Casual Toy Collector. That's with a K, Kasual, Toy Collector. Do shows on Wednesday, the Hump Day series, halfway through the work week. Also do shows on Friday and Saturday. Friday is the Flex Friday series, and Saturday is the Saturated Stunt Saturday series. All of those are 21 and up shows with adult subjects. We do primarily talk toys, but it ultimately it's a big hangout of just great people, great family. So feel free to join in on the family.
What can I get for $10, Cass?
Oh,
Not even respect.
That depends on who his extra special guest is, if he has one.
Yeah. I don't want to jeopardize your channel by answering that.
I was trying to give him a hint that you do 3D printing sometimes. So
yeah, here and there I do a little bit of 3D printing, and we can get you some accessories and add-ons and all kind of stuff. Man. Feel free to ask.
Yes, Casual gave me a Cobra Stinger before Hasbro did, so there you have it.
Yep, and yours looks better.
Rob78, welcome.
Woo!
But, all right, well, let's go ahead and get on into the first battle, we've got Scarlet versus Bazooka. And their scores as they exist right now are Scarlet in the lead with 100. The Bazooka's 93. Now, initially, Bazooka had higher scores than Scarlet. However, Scarlet won her battle against Lady J 5 votes to 0, and Bazooka won against Roadblock 3 votes to 2. That's why her score is now higher than his. But that's how these brackets work. So, let's get into it. Curtis, why don't you tell us who you're giving your vote to tonight, and tell us why?
I'm gonna give my vote to Scarlet for 200, please. No, I'm gonna give my vote to Scarlet, and the reason why is my nostalgia for her is slightly better than Bazooka. I like both. It's a really hard choice, but I'm just gonna go with Scarlet. You know, she's a female. You know, I don't know. But that's why it's really hard for me. They're both very nostalgic to me, but I'm gonna give Scarlet just a little bit more nostalgia, and that gets it for me.
All right, so Sergeant Schultz is voting for Scarlet because he has nostalgia for her boobies. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give my vote to Scarlet as well. I do think the Bazooka figure is damn near perfect.
Yeah.
I did initially rate Bazooka higher than Scarlet. There is one glaring issue with Bazooka, though, and that is he's somehow wearing a backpack with no straps on nothing but a t-shirt. That's always been something that bothered me, even with the O-ring figure on Bazooka. I'm like, how is he wearing this backpack?
Right.
It just never made sense to me, but I do think his figure's fantastic. I absolutely love it. And Bullwinkle's here, Curtis. So if you want to go ahead and let Bullwinkle in, that'd be great.
There you are. What up, Bull?
As we've got Bull 80. Well, we've got Clutch fixing his vamp.
What's up, guys?
But that's gonna be 2 votes for Scarlet here. She is like the retro card Scarlet is just such a perfect rendition of that original Scarlet that it's impossible for it to not get my vote. Digital, how about you?
I have to go with Scarlet too, and again, like Curtis was saying, the nostalgia factor is a bit more for Scarlet, especially with her being one of the earlier Joes, and also Scarlet always struck me as main character. She's a main character, and Bazooka, not that he's a background character, but he's not a main character, except for maybe a few episodes. But so that's I'm going with Scarlet.
Yeah, Bazooka does tend to lead into the comic relief.
Yeah.
Casual, how about you? You're muted, by the way, sir.
Oops, sorry. I am so I think again, like y'all were saying, Scarlet's in the original lineup. She's a character that's always there, the nostalgia factor, and she's cute. She's cute. A lot better than the first Scarlet. So I'm gonna give my vote to Scarlet too, man.
All right, Bullwiggle, would you care to introduce yourself to the crowd and then give us your vote?
What's happening, crowd? Sorry about my my lateness. I had a couple things to take care of. Glad to be here. Glad to be part of this again. Everybody knows, I'm Bull 80 / Bullwinkle / Merman at times. Yeah, I'm gonna. I think my vote's gonna have to be for Scarlet as well. I love that Bazooka, and I think he's everything that Bazooka needed to be. The nostalgia factor in Bazooka for me is up there, but I don't think it's more than the Scarlet. And plus, I'm really partial to most all the retro carded figures. They just do it for me. Tell you the truth, I don't know what they would do with Bazooka if they made a retro. He's almost retro right now. But my vote is definitely going to go for Scarlet, just like the rest of the panel.
I would make that same argument, sir. And so Scarlet wins with 5 votes to 0, moving her score up to 125, leaving Bazooka as a loser.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, go hang out with Quick Kick and Alpine, dude.
Bye.
Fudgy bars.
So our next battle here is going to be a little tougher, I think. Wild Bill versus Snowjob. And they are tied right now with their scores after their victories in the last round. So this time, Curtis started last time. I'll go ahead and start this time. For me, as good as Snowjob is, I have to give my vote to Wild Bill. Now, they both have a lot of similarities in terms of accessories, in terms of like headgear, right? They both have many options for the head. Wild Bill could be hat, no hat, glasses, no glasses. And Snowjob can be hood, no hood, goggles, no goggles. I do believe Snowjob has like better accessories overall, but Wild Bill, man, the nostalgia for the figure, the deco on the character, the detail on his 6-shooters. And let's face it, that's one hell of a mustache. So for me, I'm giving my vote to Wild Bill. And I have a sinking suspicion I'll be the only one voting for him. But Digital, how about you?
I don't have Wild Bill, and while I do respect his mustache, come on, man, Snowjob got the beard. He's got it going on, man. He's just he's got that 70s style going on. He's going to pick up the chicks, even at in Alaska where there aren't many, but he's going to come home with some. So I'm just going to go with Snowjob. I think he has, I agree with you. He has better accessories as far as, what I can see. But not having Wild Bill, it does make me lean toward at least the one that I do have. So that's my vote, Snowjob.
Understandable. Casual, how about you? Again, you're muted, sir.
I said these battles get awkward, man.
They're hard, I know.
Yeah, they're getting weird this round. Like, how do you rank it, man?
Which one do you like better, personally? That's all you gotta do.
Man, I'm gonna go Wild Bill because he can get to the chopper, and I like the 6-shooter.
Get to the chopper.
Yes.
I like the 6-shooter. I like the hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with. I'm going with Wild Bill. It's
Nice.
just hard. It's hard because Snowjob comes with so many. Like he's got the skis, like and everything stores so well, and the cool ass goggles. Man. But yeah, the vote goes to Wild Bill, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, all that filigree on Wild Bill, all that nice detail on the figure. Oh,
yeah. Those guns look like those cap guns you used to buy when you were a kid.
He's like a cowboy pilot. That's just cool.
Yeah. They were silver with handles.
Air cap.
Right. Yeah. And I think maybe his character helped my vote for him too. Bullwinkle, how about you?
Well, look at here, 101 versus 101. I voted for both of these guys to get to this point. Ever since I opened Snowjob, I liked him when I was a kid. I liked him in the cartoons. I actually had this as a child. This G.I. Joe Classified is wonderful. We all talked about how much the accessories are. He's killer, man. He can hold them all on his person. It's just wonderful. All the head sculpts, the glasses, just everything about it, dude. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about who I like better. And that Wild Bill, man, just look at that figure. Plus, he's got a wonderful mustache, and I'm partial to mustaches. I'm gonna have to go with Wild Bill, man. I'm just sorry, Snowjob. I love you, brother, but can't beat Wild Bill, man.
All right, that didn't go the way I thought it would. Curtis, how about you? Even though it's kind of decided,
Yeah, it's
the
decided.
points still matter.
I don't have Wild Bill, and looking at his gun, like his details, great. And then I have Snowjob, and Snowjob is really good. I was like very surprised when I got him and all the stuff he came with. But so my vote is gonna go to Snowjob, but it might be different if I had both of them. I might go Wild Bill, but I got Snowjob, so.
Well, all right. However, Wild Bill does win 3 votes to 2. And that gives Wild Bill a new total score of 116.
Damn, he's out in the cold. Throw
And
him
it
out
makes
there.
Snowjob a loser.
He's ready for the cold. Throw him, get him out of here. He's ready for
That's
Snowjob
okay.
is a loser.
His beard and the ladies are going to keep him warm.
Yeah, he's got a cabin out. He don't stay at Joe headquarters. He's got a cabin out in the woods.
Well,
sun.
I've got a feeling this next battle is going to be an easy one, because what we've got is Mutton Junkyard versus Airborne, and Mutt's already got a tremendous lead here. And Digital, you're first this time.
Well, I have to say I like both of these characters, and they both come with a crap ton of accessories, and there is that whole deluxe packaging versus deluxe pack versus a regular pack, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Mutton Junkyard, simply because they're both great, and I feel like Airborne, even though the figure looks great, those leg straps they bug the hell out of me when they interfere with the range of motion. So
They're not comfortable.
Mutton Junkyard.
All right, Casual, how about you?
Mutt and Junkyard, please, for the win. It's obvious.
All right, Bullwinkle, how about you?
Well, I like the Mutton Junkyard. Hey, go with Kurt for 1 second, Prophet.
All right, Curtis, how about you then?
Junkyard.
All right, that was easy enough.
He said forget Mutt, just Junkyard.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do my bit while Bull gets whatever he's doing together. Mutt and Junkyard and Airborne, in my opinion, are both perfect renditions of their original figures. Both do a magnificent job of tickling my nostalgia button in the exact perfect way. However, Mutt and Junkyard, they were one of my favorite figures as a kid. Just the idea that he came with a dog and he was the one wearing the muzzle, that was really great. In the cartoon, Mutt and Junkyard got a lot more airtime than Airtight did. I'm sorry, Airborne did. And there was that, all the like missions with Mutt and Junkyard where Junkyard got brainwashed by Cobra, and Mutt and Junkyard, along with the help of Flint, made a gyrocopter out of a downed Sky Striker. So clearly, the dog is a genius that has like engineering skills. You have to take those sort of things into account. You know,
Like,
all of Mutt's gear is perfect. All of Airborne's gear is perfect. But you know, I do have to lean towards Mutt and Junkyard myself. So far the votes are 4-0 Mutt and Junkyard. And it's up to Bullwinkle now to see if Airborne's coming away from this with any points whatsoever.
Well, let's see. Back to I don't know, man. It's cool that it comes with a dog. I just was never a big Mutt and Junkyard fan as a kid. I was more of a Law and Order type guy. I like that dog, like that. I don't know this. That's the toy I wanted. I didn't really care for this. Not that I disliked it. I just prefer Law and Order. I don't really recall Airborne too much. I never had a figure of him as a child, but I always remembered him flying in the Dragonfly. I think that was really cool. But I got to tell you guys, when I opened up that Airborne figure and I played around with that, in my opinion, that's one of the top classified figures they've made. I don't know what it is about the plastic, the way it moves. I'm just really fond of it. I'm really partial of that figure, man. And like I said, it's one of my top classified. So I have to give it some points. What I'm basically doing is deducting points away from Mutt and Junkyard, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to pick Airborne.
All right. Well, even though he picked Airborne, Mutt is going to be moving on to the next round with a new score of 118. While Airborne, in spite of Bull's love of him, is a loser. A big fat X with all the color drained out of him. Now, before I move on, there's some more people in the chat here. I'd like to address them real quick. Let's see here. We've got Tanner 3D. Thank you for coming. Moto Viper's here. Hello, Moto. Hello, Moto. We've got MIS1. Awesome to see you, sir. Glad you're here.
MIS1.
We've got Bobby Wold. Bobby, thanks for showing up. Appreciate the view. And Billionaire's here. Bill, how are you, sir? Good to see you making the journey from Kaz's channel. So, yes, thanks to everyone in the chats who showed up. Please give Curtis a nice little like and subscribe. But, yeah, we're, you know, Mutt and Junkyard, no surprise there that they moved on. And now the last fight of the day for the Joes. This should probably be a pretty tough one because we've got Alpha Commando Snake Eyes versus Sergeant Slaughter. And as you can see, Snake Eyes has a lead here in terms of points so far. But we'll see what happens because this Sarge figure is pretty damned amazing. Casual, I believe you're leading the charge this time.
He's out for smoke.
Damn, man.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe it.
Oh, Mark Cosplay's here too. Yes, Mark, I acknowledge you.
Damn, man.
Mark
Man. I'm going Snake Eyes. Sicker weapons. You got you get the wolf. Super mainline guy. Yeah, I'm going Snake Eyes on the vote.
All
Damn.
right. Not much of a surprise there. Bullwinkle. Snake Eyes or Sergeant Slaughter? Oh, he's muted. He might be tucking the kids in. Oh, wait. There
I'm back. Wow, look at this one. Huh. Man. Man, I like me some Sergeant Slaughter, and that figure is great. And it comes with that little miniature fig, too.
Yeah,
In my opinion, it has everything he needs. But that Snake Eyes, that's my Snake Eyes. That's my Commando Snake Eyes.
yes.
That timber's great. That was the first time they actually showed us what they could do with an articulated animal in this line. And we all were like, wow, it's so wonderful. of course, they made repaints of it, which they should. But I don't know, man. That Snake Eyes. My vote goes for Snake Eyes.
All right, that's 2 for Snake Eyes. Curtis, how about you?
Well, I'm going to go with Snake Eyes. The reason why is because Sergeant Slaughter is a fake sergeant. He's not a real sergeant. 100% fake. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, they're both really good. I really do like that Sergeant Slaughter. I was very happy with them. And I was very, very happy with Snake Eyes. But my nostalgia is a lot more for Snake Eyes than Sergeant Slaughter. So I'm going with Snake Eyes.
All right. Well, Sergeant Slaughter has no choice, but in spite of his stolen valor, I am still giving my vote to Sergeant Slaughter, man. I love that Snake Eyes figure. I think he's great. But that Sergeant Slaughter is absolute perfection. So even though, he's not going to win this battle, he's still getting my vote. How about you, Digital?
If Snake Eyes did not come with Timber, this battle would be so easy for me. But I do like the fact that they gave us an updated Commando Snake Eyes, a more modern version, and they still gave him his Uzi. And Timber is fantastic. It was the main reason to really pick this set up. But I really have to go with Sergeant Slaughter just for the fact that this figure, Hasbro beat out an indie. If you want to call Valaverse an indie toy company, they beat the crap out of them versus their Sergeant Slaughter. This one is 100 times better. So
Agreed.
I'm going with Sarge.
Ooh.
All right, so Sergeant Slaughter does take 2 of the votes. Sadly, it's not enough to win. Snake Eyes now has a score of 125, leaving poor Sergeant Slaughter a loser.
I got one real quick thing to say. Shout out to Bullwinkle because he hooked me up with the Snake Eyes.
And all you guys that voted against Sarge, you're going to end up in an itty bitty ditty bag.
An itty bitty ditty bag.
He's a maggot. He's a maggot. He can't do that.
That sounds like a bad bag, and that didn't really age too well in 2025, did it?
He don't have the itty.
Actually, I think it's more relevant now.
He don't have the itty ditty bag in that version though.
Yeah, that one.
Now,
well,
he doesn't need one. He'll just go grab one and stuff you in it.
Maybe
along with some baby oil.
He'll get one of those little cardboard foot lockers that were coming with the classified. He'll use that.
All right. Well, that's it for the Joes tonight. So now we're moving on to Cobra
Commando.
We've got Copperhead versus the Iron Grenadier Bat.
Ooh.
And it is a close battle.
Damn.
And it is Bullwinkle's turn to start.
Wow.
It's going to be pretty easy for me. I do not own this Iron Grenadier bat, even though it looks like a beautiful figure, man. The gold looks fantastic. If I ever probably see this out and about in a store, I'll probably buy it. It really doesn't hit any nostalgia for me, but that Copperhead does. And I had him as a child. I played with him in the bath and whatever water I could with the water moccasin. And I think this Copperhead is a well done rendition of the figure and what I saw on the cartoon and everything. It just hits it all for me. I'm going to have to go with the Copperhead all day long.
Totally understandable. Welcome, Mick DJ and Old School. Thank you for showing up and giving us the
Yes.
views. Really appreciate you being here.
McD.
Curtis, how about you?
Oh man, that Iron Grenadier is pretty, very nice. Like I'd probably buy it as soon as I can. I do like it. I like the gold just pops on it, makes it look really good. I don't have it though, unfortunately. I don't have that much nostalgia for the Iron Grenadier because I was already out about that time into girls and stuff, you know. But Copperhead, a lot of nostalgia. I had him in the moccasin, and man, I used to take him out to the beach. We had a woods in the back of our neighborhood, and it had like this pond with like complete sand, and it was weird. Like somebody made it, but you know, I'd float it in there and play with stuff in there and shit. And yeah, it was great. So I'm gonna go with Copperhead.
All right. Hey, maybe the Iron Grenadier bat might have done better had Curtis not gotten over his fear of cooties.
Yes.
However, I have to agree with the two of you. As much as I do love the Iron Grenadier bat, and I do think that the bat is an amazing figure, and this color scheme is perfect, I have to say, man, that Copperhead, much like Sergeant Slaughter, is a perfect fucking figure. He's amazing in every way. Like, I wouldn't change a single thing. A retro card release of him is completely redundant, much like Mother Teresa's chastity vow. Yeah, so I'm giving my vote to Copperhead as well. Digital, how about you?
Oh man, I love the look of the bling bat. I think it just, the black and gold, it just pops. It looks fantastic. But like you guys, I think the nostalgia factor is working extra hard on this figure, because I'm gonna go with Copperhead, because again, Iron Grenadier bats weren't a thing in the 80s, and Copperhead was, and the moccasin was a cool ass vehicle, and hours and hours and hours of playtime with that thing. And like Curtis was talking about a pond in the woods, in the woods in my yard, my brother and I, we built a dam. There was a little stream that runs through, and we took some cinder blocks and built a dam with a gate and everything in it.
Oh shit.
And then our dad made us take it down because it was backing up all the water into the ditch. Oh, but fun times, man. Fun times.
Nice. Hey, what's that? Volta, shut up. I realize he's part of my army, but Copperhead's a better figure. Curtis, I'm sorry, Casual, how about you?
Hey, y'all gonna be mad at me. So I get the nostalgia, I get all of that, man. But like, for the figure you get, it feels like he was supposed to come with a vehicle. You don't get much. You get them two little guns, man.
The knives.
Man, that's the bling bat. Look at that. Look at the blicky, man. He's that, man. For me, if I was I don't know, just to me, if I'm in a store and I want to buy a new G.I. Joe, they're both hanging on the pegs, I'm grabbing that bat, man. We're talking about the toy, which one I enjoy more, so I would say that bat, man. That bling bat. He's too tough.
Yeah, that's not an issue, my friend. You are entitled to that opinion.
Yeah.
And I will say one thing though. It is a little bit odd that you would vote against the guy who earned you money selling your own 3D printed water moccasins.
I mean,
But regardless of that, Copperhead is the winner with a score of 122 now, making the Iron Grenadier bat a loser.
get him out of here.
He's gone.
Yep, he's out of there.
Now, the next battle Baroness Crimson Style versus the Crimson Guard.
Damn.
Very, very close score.
Wow.
Now, this should actually be Curtis's turn to go first, but I'm going to for obvious reasons. Curtis can go first on the next one, but my couch is really uncomfortable. So my vote is for the Baroness. That's all there is to it. I mean, she's got the extra face sculpts, that awesome gold snake mask, the snake laser, the extra hair for action. 2 gold Uzis, 2 gold pistols, 2 gold handled knives, nice little stand, great articulation. The Crimson Guard is amazing, and I have tremendous nostalgia for the figure from when I was a kid. When the Crimson Guards came out, they replaced all my Cobra Troopers with Crimson Guards. But I really hate my couch, man. So the Baroness. Digital, how about you?
Oh man. I love both of these figures. And it just, the nostalgia factor for the Crimson Guard, and I think it looks very much classic in the mold, if not so much the colors. But like the backpack, it really reminds me of that original figure. He comes with the he comes with the wrong pistol. So that's a negative of that, but he has a sword. But then again, Baroness has those 2 sword-like knives, and Fred doesn't come with a wig, and the Baroness has a wig. And 2 gold-colored Uzis. I mean, how awesome is that? And you can put the suppressors on them too. The little snake zapper thing, I could give 2 craps about. I didn't like it with the coil cycle. I still don't like it. But I think that the Baroness figure is a nice update to what we got with the coil cycle and the retro carded. And they need to update the mold on the rest of the figure, and then it would be perfect. If they reissue this on like another retro card and they fix the knees, then it's a perfect figure of this particular character. So I'm going to go with the Baroness.
Nice. I mean, she
I
does
just have to
that.
go that way.
She does have that awesome biting her bottom lip face sculpt.
That one too. In fact, I think that's the one that's on mine.
Oh, dude, that's the one that's on mine too. Casual, how about you?
Man, that's another tough one. That Crimson Guard, very nostalgic. Somebody got the win though. It's Baroness. She's
All right. Bullwinkle, how about you?
To be honest with you, I don't really care too much about either one of these figures. Being honest. Yeah, the Baroness looks cool. It's a great color scheme. That color scheme looks better on her than it does the Crimson Guard. I like the Crimson Guard, but he's not one of my favorites. I didn't have one as a kid. You know what? Just looking at the 2 figures, if I was, if I had a choice to buy one of these, one or the other, and I was looking at all the accessories, the paint, the extra heads, I'm going to have to go with the Baroness, even though it really doesn't matter to me. I'm going to pick the Baroness.
Nice. Curtis, how about you?
I like both these figures, both nostalgic, except, I mean, there wasn't a lot of nostalgic with the Red Baroness because we never had that, unless you did it yourself, I guess, back in the day. But the Crimson Guard came with, I thought, pretty, a lot of stuff, and so did Baroness. And Baroness's stuff is cool. Like she's got the Uzi, she's got the silencers and stuff, and those knives are badass. The snake, all that stuff, you know. So I'm gonna go with my pick with the blow up doll Baroness.
You realize when you call her stuff like that, she's not inviting you to the company dinner now.
All right, I take that back. I gotta vote for the Baroness.
Too late.
But if I don't vote for the Baroness, like, and she doesn't win, then like Profit Director gets a hell of shit done, and then it rolls downhill. So that, you know, he's my boss.
Shit does roll downhill, my friend. That is the
That
truth.
it does.
I'm picking Baroness, girl.
With that being said, the Baroness is the winner here, and her new score is 124, leaving the Crimson Guard a loser.
To her.
Bye, Fred.
There.
Yeah,
Bye.
poor Fred is gone. Poor Fred is gone. But I do agree, Kaz. Like, I would very much like to see, I'm sorry, Digital. I would very much like to see this Baroness in this, you know, with slightly better boots, in all black. I would be thrilled to see that.
Yeah.
And I'd like them to retire the gun the holsters, the way they have the holsters on the back. But yeah, I'm very happy. Thank you guys. I now will not have to sleep on that uncomfortable couch. Next battle, the his tank driver and gunner versus Scrap Iron. And Scrap Iron has a pretty tremendous lead here already. Curtis, I'm gonna let you go first because I kind of stole you first last time.
Theve. No. I have the male his driver, which I really like, a lot of nostalgia with him. But I don't have nothing else. I don't have the his tank that he came with. I got a different his tank. I don't have the female one. I mean, that right there is a great combo of stuff that comes with that, but I didn't get it. So I'm going to go with Scrap Iron because I have Scrap Iron. He's pretty cool. He's not as much as nostalgia, though, as I have with the actual his driver self. But I do have
A
what's
10-second
Iron. Yeah, I'm trying. I couldn't think of his name. Scrap Iron.
Pause.
I say memory.
So
is the
Scrap
first thing that
Iron's your
goes,
vote,
Kurt.
Curtis?
Yeah, Scrap Iron's my vote.
All right. Yeah, I agree with Curtis. I do love the his drivers. I do love the his tank. I do have a lot of nostalgia for it. But I have 10 small his tanks. And the his tank drivers are a dime a dozen. Whereas Scrap Iron was one of my favorite O-ring figures. I still have him as an O-ring figure. The drone is a perfect update for the missile launcher he had back in the day. I have to say, man, Scrap Iron, this is not a hard choice for me. Scrap Iron is perfection. Digital, how about you?
His tank was one of the Cobra vehicles I always wanted as a kid, but never had for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just I never ran across it in a store or if there was cooler stuff or whatever. But I wanted one. I never had one until I was an adult. And in fact, it was that last release of O-rings that Walmart did in 2020, 21? Somewhere around there.
They called it the retro, but they didn't have the O-rings. Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't O-ring then. Okay.
Yeah, they were just called retros.
Retros, yeah. So that line, that's the first time I ever got my hands on a his tank. I don't have his tank, so I don't have either one of these figures. And Scrap Iron is one that I have a lot of nostalgia for. I love the update for it. I love that they added the removable helmet and you can see his burn up face. The drone is now, it's much more mobile than it was in the original line, because if you guys remember, like the original one, it had just like the tripod legs on it.
That's correct. Yeah,
And
it was 4, I think.
And so okay, a quad. Yeah, I guess it would have been 4.
Quads, yeah.
I can see, he not only did he have that thing, but he had a crew of at least 2 dudes to help him move it around.
Yeah.
So now he doesn't have that problem. And on his off time, he can use his remote as a Nintendo Switch, because that's exactly what it looks like, except for the 2 big antennas. That might actually be a Switch too. It's announced, because Cobra's ahead of the curve. And so I'm just rambling on now, but Scrap Iron gets my vote.
Yeah, you know what's funny, because you were talking about it being on a tripod originally on the O-ring figure.
Yeah.
But in the comic book, when he kills the blind master with it, he's like holding it on his shoulder, firing it. It's crazy.
Wow.
Casual, how about you?
Man, it's hard not to let a HasLab vehicle influence this decision at all. And you do get a male or a female version. But Scrap Iron comes with so many different effects that complement his tank. And he's an individual character, not just a masked up, you know what I'm saying, army builder kind of. So my vote's going with Scrap Iron. And hey, the drone is cool as hell. I love all that robot and technology and shit like that. So he's better. And the facial scars, my vote goes to Scrap Iron.
All right. Well, Scrap Iron's really taking this away, but Bull, what's your vote?
You're muted.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you. I hate
Sorry.
it when that happens.
I hate it, man. It's so awkward. I like both of these. They're both great. I have the HISS tank, so I have the HISS driver. And that HISS driver looks just like any HISS driver that came with any HISS tank, really, in history. The very first ones up to the last one, retro, they did. Even the female version, this looks like a female version of it. They're great. But there's something about that Scrap Iron, man. That's only, but that face that only a mother could love, all those accessories, that drone, the blast effects, you can put those with anything. That drone's amazing, man. And I still have my accessory pack drone, the burgundy one that I had when I was a child. And I remember playing with it, but the missiles were blue. I remember playing with it, loved it. Never had Scrap Iron himself, just the drone. But there's something about the nostalgia piece of that drone and me playing with it as a child. And then thank you, Walmart, for putting these things on discount too. I do have 3 of these. So that's pretty cool. That has a lot to be said with my vote here. So my vote's definitely going to be Scrap Iron and the drone, just like everybody else.
Well, all right. That kind of means that Scrap Iron is going to be the winner with let's see, what's his score going to be? He's at 108.
It's 25.
Hey, next week's gonna be
133.
There you go.
133.
133. He now
Yeah,
has the highest
133.
score so far.
He does.
Crazy. But yeah, that's I figured it was gonna go that way. Scrap Iron's gonna be hard to beat, man. He's an incredible figure.
Yeah, totally.
But the next battle, the last battle of the evening, Techno Viper versus Retro Card Cobra Commander. Again, very close score. So yeah, this time I believe Digital is leading us off.
Tough one. Man, this is tough.
It's not tough for me.
This is a tough one because both of these figures are fantastic. I mean, you know, every figure that was on the list to begin with was a fantastic figure, and the fact that we're having, you know, we're stressing out over which one of these to pick in this battle just shows how good these figures are, or at least how strong our nostalgia is for these characters. And damn it. You know, Coco, Coco's got the chrome, but Techno Viper, he's got the accessories. He really takes it in the accessory department. And you know, that hologram is hard to beat, but
in that purple, it's nice.
He's a trooper, and Coco is a main character. So, you know, without Coco, where would G.I. Joe be? They'd be enemyless and non-existent probably. So I'm gonna have to go with the retro carded Cobra Commander.
All right, Casual. How about you?
Oh God.
Say it.
Kurt, it's not your turn.
Yeah, Bull. Yours either.
Oh.
Ouch.
We got doubled.
Oh man. So
I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah.
all right. So I might upset people. But man, the Techno Viper with all the accessories. I'm in a store looking at them hanging. I got $25, man. I would feel like I'd have another opportunity to get Coco later. Man, I'd put my vote with the Techno Viper. I like the weapon layout. I like he's got some cool the hologram and shit, man. He's tight, man. I'm going Techno Viper. Weird, right? I'm going Techno Viper.
Nah,
Totally understandable. Bullwinkle?
Man, I really do love that Cobra Commander. And I have the His Tank one, and I think this one right here is just better than the His Tank one, even though it's Mickey Mouse. Something about that chrome face. But if I'm going by what I like the best, that Techno Viper is one of my figures I had since I was a child. I still have everything that went with it. It's fully complete. I only had one as a kid, only one, but I always loved it. It was always one of my top G.I. Joe figures, Cobra figures, along with Outback and Hit and Run. Those three were my top three all the time. I love the purple on this. I don't really care anything about the hologram thing on his wrist. That doesn't mean anything to me. It's a cool accessory. I'm glad they put it in there. The only thing I would say is that the cables, the little wire that hooks up the accessories or the gun, I think there should have been two in there. That's the only thing I can say negative about it. But that purple is an amazing purple. The picture doesn't do it justice. You know, as much as I like that Cobra Commander, I'm going to have to go with the Techno Viper.
Ooh.
All right, Techno Viper. They're winning 2-1 at the moment. Curtis, you gonna even it out here with a vote for Coco?
They're both great figures. I wasn't a Techno Viper person because I didn't know about them. You know, for some reason I never saw him, but he is a great figure. Cobra Commander is a great figure. It's done well, and I respect his authority more than the Techno Viper. So I'm gonna go with Cobra Commander.
All right, so it comes down to me. My vote's the deciding vote.
Lies.
All right, so here's the thing. both of these figures, in my opinion, are about as perfect as they could be in terms of representing the original figures that we had when we were kids. Like Bull said, the missing hose is, you know, a disappointment, but you know, the hologram on the wrist is a nice substitute. Coco, like, I love the figure. I think he's great. I think he's like the best rendition of Cobra Commander that we've had so far. So in terms of like nostalgia and quality, like I think they're equal. However, Cobra Commander is a buffoon. So I'm gonna give my vote to the Techno Viper.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Which of course will make the Techno Viper beat Hoodie Coco here.
Mm.
Well, not Hoodie Coco,
Nice.
but that'll give the Techno Viper a score of 123, and it will make Cobra Commander rightly a loser.
I was once a winner.
But yeah, that's all of our battles for the evening.
Perfect.
I want to recount.
So yeah, so next week
I want to recount.
we are going to have
Just robbed.
let's see here. I'm gonna just get back into this so I can take a look. So next week's battles, we will have Scarlet versus Wild Bill, I believe, won, right? Wasn't it Wild Bill?
That's correct. Yes.
Let's see. I'm just gonna scroll back up here. I have it all.
He
here.
did win.
So,
Wild Bill, he
yes,
won.
Scarlet versus Wild Bill.
Wow.
Next week it'll be Scarlet versus Wild Bill. It will be Mutton Junkyard versus Snake
Timber.
Eyes and Timber.
Hey.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, that one works out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Whoa. Whoa.
It will be Copperhead versus Baroness.
Oh shit!
And then Scrap Iron versus the Techno Viper.
Ugh.
And that'll be round 1 next week. But next week, that round I just described, that is the quarterfinals.
Hey, man.
Then we'll have the semifinals after that, where whoever wins between Scarlet and Wild Bill will then have to face whoever wins between Mutton Junkyard and Snake Eyes. Wouldn't that be interesting if it was Scarlet versus Snake Eyes?
That would be.
Oh,
There's
wow.
a very good chance I won't be the only one sleeping on the couch next week.
Hey, what about guesses for the old? Who do you think wins it all? I know who wins it all. I know who wins it all. Weirdly, I know who wins it all.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't-
at the moment, it's looking like Scrap
Scrap
Iron, to
Iron,
be
yeah.
honest with
Yeah.
It's either Scrap Iron or Snake Eyes, I think.
Scrap Iron, I think.
But
It's
there,
Take
all
the
you know,
Viper.
you never know, guys. There could be an upset. Everybody thought Serpentor was going in. You know.
I know
To
y'all.
the
Look
end.
fit.
Right. You never know who's going to be feeling froggy on the day.
Mhm.
And then on the Cobra side, it'll be whoever wins between Copperhead and Baroness versus whoever wins between Scrap Iron and Techno Viper.
Mm.
And then we'll have the final the same night. So it'll be the final Joe versus the final Cobra to see whose army is superior. But that's going to do it for us this evening, folks. That's the whole thing. So if anybody on the panel has any final words they'd like to say.
Yeah. Breaking news: Smokey Bear moved to Florida because he's tired of the fires in California.
Nice.
Somebody needs to get on it.
I believe if tradition dictates anything here, we're probably going to be backstage for a while,
Yeah.
which means Curtis will probably be putting a link in the chat. And you'll have a couple of minutes before we shut down the live and go backstage.
I'd like to read Frank Dumonew's his comment.
He said
Snake Eyes is the poster child, but Scrap Iron will probably win due to the rigged show. Laugh out loud.
Fake, fake vote.
The Scrap Iron is your Kansas City Chiefs. Is that right? So
Yeah, well, hey, look, Bull and I did both buy. Oh, we lost Curtis.
yep, lost the host.
Bull and I did both buy 3 copies of Scrap Iron, so it is three-peat situation.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean you get 3 times the votes.
Right.
Whoa.
It does not. You're absolutely right.
Pick himself out.
I don't know, guys. I still love that Techno Viper as well, though. He's still money. He really
He
is.
is pretty damn badass.
I think I have 3 or 4 of those as well.
Yeah, that Techno Viper is fucking perfect, man. I love it.
I got 2. But just so you know, they're on one's on one end, one's on the other end. Just to kind of cap off my troopers and stuff.
Well, I would like to thank everyone in the chat for showing up.
Me as well.
And giving Curtis some nice views here tonight.
And
Yes.
a special shout out to my channel member, MC DJ ACDC. Thank you. And thank you, my friend.
Good dude. Yeah, good dude.
Nice. Yeah, so I'm gonna step away for a couple of minutes here. You guys feel free to shout out your channels one last time before Curtis shuts it down. And again, anyone in the chat who wants to come backstage with us and bullshit, feel free to grab that link Curtis put in the chat. And I'll see you all in a few.
Later, Prophet.
Later, Prof.
All right, Prof. So you can find me here on Sunday nights. That's about it. Or sometimes I jump on Kaz's shows. Or whatnot. I do a lot of backstages. But that's all.
And
That's all I got.
Most people who are watching this probably know where to find me, but in case you don't, Digital Caveman with 2 N's on Instagram, youtube.com/@Digital Caveman with 2 N's. Because that guy with 1 N, he just, no, we don't want nothing to do with him.
I gotta look that up now to see who that is.
How the hell did I get?
I don't even know if it's a dude anymore. It just when years ago when I decided to take the name Digital Caveman, I was going to use it as my Xbox gamer tag, and somebody already friggin' had it. So I was like, well, shit, I don't feel like adding a number to it, so I'm just going to put another N on it.
There you go. Easy solution. There you go. But I'm Kaz Toy Collector. You can catch me on Wednesdays, Hump Day Wednesdays, halfway through the work week. Friday, after the work week is done, for Flex Friday. Saturday again, because Friday wasn't enough relaxing. Saturday again for the Saturated Stunt Saturday shows. 10:30 p.m. on the weekends, 9:30 on Wednesday.
BYB.
Yep, BYB. BYB 21 and up. Make sure the kids is tucked in for the night.
I don't really have a channel. I mean, I know everybody does, but I don't have a channel.
The way you did that was funny.
What?
You're like, I really don't have a channel. It was just funny the way you did your facial.
But I can't, everybody does, but I don't have one.
Right.
But I do venture out on the YouTubers podcast a lot of times and hang out with you guys. You can see me on Curtis's streams. You can see me on Kaz's streams. You can see me on M3 review streams. You can see me on PAX 3 live streams. That's probably about it. You can check me out on Instagram. It's Bullwinkle_80. I don't post a lot. I did for a while, but you can go check out my stuff if you want to. And otherwise, you can catch me here hanging out with these guys. I do a lot of backstages with these guys too, hanging out. So thank everybody for coming and hanging out, checking us out. Kaz had his stream up as well. He had quite a few people watching. So we appreciate everybody on Kaz's channel watching, everybody on Curtis's channel watching. And just come check us out next Sunday, man. And we'll finish this thing and see who wins. Go Techno Viper.
Yes, and during next week's show, after we're done with all the voting stuff, I'm going to do a segment called "A Bag Full of Joes," and I'm gonna see if Prophet can name every Joe I pull out of that bag.
Nice.
And they're 3.75-inch Joes.
I hope you got some of them funky 90 ones.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
dude, I tried them the other
Who
day.
is this? That's the Rainbow Trooper.
Yeah. That's the fluorescent orange one.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what's kind of funny, guys? Curtis said he had trouble sending Digital and I the link earlier today.
uh-huh.
And his text for the link came through while we were voting on Techno Viper. And
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
9:55 is when I got mine.
Wow.
Wow.
And right before that, it said Curtis Schultz is offline. I'm like, what?
Sometimes it's hard for that internet service to go through Curtis's bunker he's in. He's in a bunker, for all you guys don't know. Look at him.
right, he's down there in his bomb shelter with his blue roof.
Already.
And all
I
of
will
his
be back.
boys.
I
I
will
have
be
a
back
blue
in
roof,
just a few
guys.
minutes.
I have a
Blue
blue
roof, I
roof.
love it. Can't catch my house on fire.
Motherfuckers.
Oh, we're live. Sorry. Just kidding, internet. This is for only
Now,
entertainment
Cosplay, how are
content.
you, sir?
All right, guys, we're gonna go. Thanks for coming. We'll see you guys next Sunday, or if we do something during the week, just keep an eye out. Does anybody have anything else to say before I shut it down?
I think we're good to go.
All righty then. Good night. God bless. Have a great week. Be safe out there, and
Peace, everybody.
take care of yourself.